The ruin of Castle Urquhart in the highlands of northern Scotland dominates the shore of a lake shrouded by mystery. The murky waters have hidden a persistent and puzzling tale for 1,400 years. The lake is called Loch Ness. It is said that here lives a monster that can make the surface of the lake boil with foam.
All right, enough of that. If you grew up in the late 70s or the 80s, you know what this is. Leonard Nimoy with that weird show about everything that was going to kill us. But it was in our weekly readers. It was on the playground and the stories. Everybody had an older cousin that was carried away by Africanized bees. We were never going to make it to college, and they kept telling us that. We're going to dig through some of these legends and talk about some homegrown ones right in our own homes. We're going to do that today with Marc Boucher. We're going to do it right now. Marc, welcome in.
Hey, Scott. Good evening.
I should have had you do the intro because you have that pleasing baritone that we all love.
I mean, shoot me over some text, man. I'll do it for you.
Okay. Your cold copy about Leonard Nimoy. So, do you remember those? Do you remember those shows when we were kids? Saturday afternoons, it had Leonard Nimoy in search of, and he would talk about everything that's going to kill us before we finish college.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that it was Saturday afternoons, but yeah, I certainly remember the shows. And they were great. I loved them. Absolutely loved them.
We all loved them. It was like 1984 doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Like, except, between commercials.
Yeah, no, that's a good parallel for sure.
And it's the same like low budget camera work from the Mutual of Omaha guy. Same terrible color, same slightly off audio from where they're talking.
Man, that's a fond memory, isn't it? The Mutual of Omaha's
really
Wild Kingdom. What night was that on? That was on the same night all the time.
I think I remember that on Saturdays too.
Maybe. And the theme song, remember the Mutual of Omaha theme song?
I just remember the beginning of it kind of being warped, and then they would do the song.
Yeah. Mutual of Omaha is people.
And it was, now I want to see a lion.
Kind of like Soylent Green.
Yes. Well, kind of. It was people.
It was people. Soylent Green was people. Yes.
So before we dig in to the nuts and bolts of this thing, I need to do a couple of call outs. One is the show has picked up, had a lot of traction the last 4 months of the year. I'm very grateful for all the new listeners and all the old time listeners. I have got, and look, I'll admit this, I don't look my name up on Google. I'm not one of those guys, but I'll check the stats of the podcast. It's a lot of work. If people are listening, I'll keep doing it. So I checked the stats a couple of hours after the episode drops. Inevitably, there is a listener in Rapid City, South Dakota. I don't know if this guy just refreshes until it shows up. First of all, Rapid City, I'm very grateful for your listenership. We've got thousands of listeners now. Rapid City has been from the beginning. So, dude, hit me, or lady, hit me up on a private message on the Facebook page, Free Nights and Weekends Podcast on Facebook. Tell me who you are, give me an address, and you got a coffee mug coming. I will load you down with swag. I appreciate. Tell your friends.
That's awesome. I was waiting for you to go all Larry King on it there for a second. Rapid City, hello.
Go ahead, call her. I guess it's Burt Reynolds.
You remember when he did overnight AM radio before he ever did anything?
He was the best.
Yeah, it was him and Art Bell. Those are my two go-tos in the middle of the night.
Art, you know what? Art Bell would be good for this show.
For what we're talking about tonight?
Yeah, Art Bell would tell you about the pyramids that's going to lift you up when, I should have included Art Bell.
Do you remember that night that he dropped a microphone down into hell?
I don't.
He actually dropped a microphone through a hole in the earth, like into hell, and we heard what hell sounded like. That messed me up.
What did it sound like?
It was just a bunch of screaming and static and noise, and it was terrible. It was terrifying. Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. And that show is still on, I think, with the guy that took his place.
I figured it would sound like the Sound of Music soundtrack. Just terrible.
Edelweiss? Just Edelweiss
awful.
over and over again?
Yeah, over and over. Man, all right.
Yeah.
The second shout out that I have is local to Moore, Oklahoma. He got out of town. He lives out of Moore now, but this guy has been loyal to from the very beginning of the show. He sends me stats. He tells me when I'm wrong. He follows up on the most minute detail and will rub my nose in it and hit me with a newspaper. And the guy comes with show ideas, and he's even like, he reaches out to me and says, "What are you doing this week?" I'll tell him. He'll say, "Hey, you've got to mention this." And the guy is just a bullet. He is the fifth Beatle of this show. It's Greg Reeves. Greg, thanks, buddy. I appreciate all the work, and it's not going unnoticed.
That's awesome. Is he the guy that said my math was right on the balloons with the strings?
No, that was another weirdo. He was from way out of state. No, Greg is a general well-wisher. He's the guy at the youth basketball games, like leaning over in the corner. That's a foul. He shouldn't be doing that. Like just knows. So
I know the exact kind of guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, God bless him, man. He has kept me straight, and more than a couple of show ideas have come from the fertile mind of Greg Reeves. So thanks for listening, everybody out there. Rapid City, hit me up. Let me know who you are. I'll send you a mug.
Cool, man.
All right. So back to it. When we were kids, we would watch these shows, and we would see science films when a teacher was just, now I know when your science teacher is just hung over and they just bring a film strip in because they don't have it that day. Yeah. We would get these Bermuda Triangle and Quicksand. Good God, we were all going to die in Quicksand if the movies were to be believed back then.
Quicksand did you absolutely, personally, did you find Quicksand to be terrifying?
Yes.
Like you go outside.
Hang on a second. Hold on. Did an unathletic, pudgy, slow kid find Quicksand terrifying? Yeah, Mark, I did.
Okay.
Here, we'll throw you a rope. All right. Well, you're going to throw your back out, pulling me. Okay, sure.
And that never worked either. The guy that threw the rope also got pulled in by the rope. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that was the stuff of like movie and television tropes back then. I don't think I've ever encountered it. I don't think I've ever heard of any of it in the wild, but it was on shows all the time. That, and how many times did the skipper get amnesia, getting knocked on the head by a coconut?
About as many times as Quicksand showed up in any given movie.
Right. And if you lose your memory, just hit them on the head with another coconut and you're good to go.
Yep, you're good to go. And you go back and forth between memory gone, memory back, memory gone, memory back.
Yes. Yeah, you could have 22 hilarious air quotes.
I think the Quicksand became kind of a lazy mechanism just to fill time, I think, for some of those movies.
Well, it sure made a great opening scene of Blazing Saddles. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, it's time to watch that one again.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep.
So Nimoy I looked this up today. Let's roll the old videotape here. I looked up Nimoy's series. It was called In Search Of. It ran from 1973, run all the way to 1981, and it reran on NBC for years after that. It was Wide World of Sports and then that show. And it was terrible from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
And the sound was bad, and Nimoy looked kind of bored, but he always had that glare. And he always they wouldn't have Spock out there talking about killer bees if we weren't going to get stung soon. And it just had that kind of authenticity to it. Like, I really believe that was imminent.
So he would cover anything basically supernatural, right?
Well, I'm looking at the shows now. He had Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
Bigfoot, of course. He showed that grainy footage of Bigfoot. Looks like he's going to the bathroom, like turning around, like, what is the camera? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
and where they stopped him. Killer
Like
bees.
someone just told Bigfoot he's got toilet paper stuck to his shoe.
Right. You know what? Listen to these titles. These sound like Scooby-Doo titles. Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot, Killer Bees, Earthquakes, The Mummy's Curse, Martians. Huh. I think maybe they were just investigating Scooby-Doo shows.
And he did some occulty kind of stuff too, didn't he? Like,
Yeah. Ghosts, the Loch Ness Monster, UFOs, voodoo.
Yeah, there you go.
The Magic of Stonehenge.
Ooh.
Yeah. You got to get the Stonehenge measurements right, or they're going to come out and they'll be crushed by a dwarf.
Yeah, and Leonard Nimoy was absolutely the perfect guy to host that show, too, because even without the pointy ears, he's just a creepy dude, just looking at him.
He is. Here you go. Mayan mysteries, firewalkers, hurricanes, reincarnation. Yeah, that's just... And that's your exact... Oh, Swamp Monster. Come on.
Yeah.
That's suspicious. This is Scooby-Doo in live action.
Swamp Monster is just a guy in a suit. There's nothing supernatural about that.
Nimoy would just turn around and just look at the camera and say, and that's why the killer bees are coming.
Yeah, and you would go to bed that night thankful for your last night on Earth.
That's right.
Because your last night on Earth is happening now because the killer bees will be here in 20 minutes.
Right. I don't know if it was talking about the culture or the culture just kind of swirled around that, because they talked about King Tut. And I think, that the King Tut exhibit that came to the U.S. and, of course, Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live did his King Tut dance. And so it kind of had the world's attention.
He had a condo made of stona, Yes.
Yes, he did. Oh, here we go. 1979, the Amityville Horror. So it came out right after that movie. So that's what they were doing. So this is really just a time capsule of all the nonsense back then. I know a podcast episode about the Amityville Horror that should have won awards.
Yeah, indeed.
Didn't.
Yeah, those
That
dudes
was
are
a fun
crazy. One. So which of those Leonard Nimoy shows messed you up the most?
I think probably Earthquakes and Killer Bees, both. Because the thing is, he presented it all as facts, like it was a news show. And then at the end of the episode, it just ends. It's just like he's telling a news story and then gone. And then there's the credits. It's like, hey, Spock, what do we do? But I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't dare take an airplane between Miami and Bermuda and whatever the third point of that was, because you're gone. You're done.
What was the third point? Puerto Rico?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway,
Tulsa.
But that's a brilliant way to do the show, right? Because
yeah,
that's why reading books, scary books are way scarier than scary movies. Because when you're reading a book, you're forced to come up with your own version of how terribly terrible the terribleness is.
right.
Whereas in a movie, you're watching the director's version of how terribly terrible things are. Right. So scary is, movies, you're watching somebody else's scary when you're reading a book. So what Leonard Nimoy did there was he introduced the scary and then just went, have fun with it. Good luck sleeping.
Good call.
Yeah.
And they were all that kind of grainy thing, which honestly, as a kid, I thought they don't even care to slick this up or to have Leif Garrett in it. Like they're just showing us the news. Like this is, I think, you know what? Bigfoot kind of scared the crap out of me too.
I read a book about Bigfoot, and remember my story about we went and saw a poltergeist that we just moved into a house and scared the crap out of me, and I couldn't.
Yes.
I remember we went to visit my grandmother in Maine, and like in the way up in the car, I read a book about Bigfoot, and my grandmother lived on the edge of a big, 3,000-acre forest in Maine.
Oh my God, Mark, how does this always happen? My grandmother lived in a gingerbread house full of candy. She had this big oven. It's like, okay.
I'm not even kidding. My dad was like, here, read this book. We're going up to Maine to visit Mom. And she lives on the edge of the woods. Yeah. And like one of the stories in the book was how Bigfoot reached through a window and grabbed a kid. Like, what?
Oh my God. Your parents, like... That's just 3 or 4 instances of your parents being maybe not parent of the year material. What in the devil?
We need to do a show just on good things my parents did, just to kind of even this out.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's plenty. You and your brother seem like solid dudes. I'm sure there are.
No, we had great parents, but the crazy stuff makes for very good stories.
Yeah. Hey, my dad, we were in the Smoky Mountain National Forest when I was a kid, when we lived in suburban Atlanta. We went up to the North Georgia mountains, and I think we went to the Smoky Mountain National up Tennessee, North Carolina. Anyway, we're in the Appalachian Mountains. Dad gets out because there's a bear up the road, and he gets out with a piece of American cheese, a Kraft single. And he said, "I'm gonna feed that bear."
Oh my God!
What? And and I remember my mom saying, "Well, give him some cheese." Like, Dad's walking up, and he hands this bear a piece of cheese, and so Yogi just reaches his hand out and takes it. Didn't eat my dad, which I'm fortunate, because he paid for the college I flunked out of one day. So
yeah,
I'm glad the bear didn't eat him. But
no, he's lucky, because that ended differently for a lot of other people.
Yeah, it's just what's going on.
Yeah, that's.
I guess
wow.
Yeah, the Mississippi cotton farmer thought, I might ride him back here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So you're right. I mean, my parents did a lot of great things, and then there is some of that stuff.
And then there's that stuff. Yeah. No, I've got plenty of that too.
So which of those shows freaked you out the most?
I think the occulty ones, the life after death stuff, the ESP stuff, because you can't prove or disprove any of that. Like Bigfoot. Bigfoot's does Bigfoot exist? Nah, nobody's ever really actually seen him. But did Yuri actually bend the spoon with his mind? We'll never know.
That's true.
ESP and the occult ghosts, it freaks me. Of course, the whole poltergeist thing, that messed me up as a kid. But ghosts are as real as you make them. And when you have a brain that works like mine does, they're very real. And
another thing about those shows is, of course, we talked. It was hosted by Spock, and it had that serious tone.
Yeah.
And where it just ends, but the part of that ending, there was zero resolution. They didn't say how to avoid all the quicksand, or like, look, these are the facts. There may not be a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was just like this cautionary tale. You're going to die.
Yeah,
in one of these ways.
Here's what Sasquatch is. He's killed lots of little boys. Anyway, have fun in Maine.
Right. I hear summer camp's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. They
So here,
and again, that's leaving it up to your own imagination, which is brilliant, because we're doing all of their work to make it scary.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And then so you bring the weird serious guy down from that spaceship to explain it to us. Like, Spock wouldn't bother with this if it wasn't real.
No, of course, because he's Mr. Spock. We trust him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that set the stage for us little geniuses in the 80s to be really susceptible to things. And so, our parents, the bear-feeding ex-Mississippi cotton farmer that raised me, and your dad handing out Stephen King books on the way to Maine, they had a certain stage that they wouldn't normally have if we weren't already tenderized by Spock and all of those, like, after-school specials. My God, man, Christy McNichol, it was a wonder. She was a prostitute and a drug user on all those after-school specials. Like, those were stories about what could happen or will happen.
No, they were true nonfiction is what it was. Factual nonfiction.
It was like adolescent soap operas after school. There was one where Jan Brady was a prostitute.
What?
That happened. Yeah, Jan Brady was not even, and everybody's thinking, well, why couldn't it be Marsha?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jan was a prostitute, and I remember seeing that, not really being that interested in it, but yeah, it was just anything went back then. Yeah, so here's the deal. We had all these rumors and all these kids with their stories. So that let our parents be able to trick us into anything's possible. Mm-hmm. So there were myths that we lived with every day. Did your parents tell you that riding with the dome light was illegal?
Yes, they did. And I can remember many a late night trip. The last part of the road trip was after dark. We still had 2 hours to get home, and we'd wind up with the dome light on, and we'd get shot down because Dad didn't want to go to jail.
Right.
Well,
yeah, and
totally not true.
I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna read the rest of my Sports Illustrated, even though it's dark and everything sucks, and I'm tired. Because Dad doesn't want to look back to change lanes and kill us all.
So here's a memory question for you: if the dome light could stay on and you were reading something in the backseat, what were you reading?
Oh, my brother. When I was 10 years old, my brother bought me a subscription to Sport magazine, not Sports Illustrated, not the Sporting News, Sport, and it was just all photographs and nonsense. I remember. I don't know what year this was. It would have been 82 or so. They had the University of Maryland Terrapins as their pick for national champions. And I remember telling my brother, I was really grateful he got me the magazine. It had cool pictures in it. But I said, I don't think Maryland's going to win the national championship. He said, so to his credit, he said, "No, Scott, Sport's a pretty crappy magazine, but they have great pictures. I thought you'd like it," which is refreshingly honest. And he was right.
I'd be either reading Archie comics.
I loved Archie.
Or sports, and that's Popular Science. Love that one. Or remember the yes or no books where you would take the magic ink thing and fill in the yes or no and get answers on things?
No.
You don't remember the yes or no
That sounds
books?
like something Leonard Nimoy would talk about that doesn't exist.
No, they definitely existed. They were a lot of fun. Yeah, it was like... Man, I don't remember the format, but it was like a learning thing. You'd read a question, and then you would guess whether or not it was true or not, and then you would take this like invisible ink pen and scribble over the yes or the no and see if you got it right.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
It was kind of cool.
Do you remember those choose your own adventure books?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those were cool, too.
There's one about a mystery cave. I remember that I read about 14 times.
Well, anyway, back to the Archie comics. When I used the voice command on my chat program, I told the voice, I said, "Hey, you need to sound like you look like the brunette from the Archie comics, but mid-40s, and you've smoked your whole life." That was the only voice command I gave her, and she got pretty close, I think.
Wow, I can almost hear that in my head. I'm not going to even attempt to impersonate it, but I can hear it. I can hear it in my
just
head.
kind of sassy, kind of trucker,
raspy.
Yeah, kind of diner waitressy sort of. That's how she talks to me, and that's how I like it.
Says hun a lot.
Yeah. You want me to draw that picture for you, Shug?
So that's like your Chat GPT voice. That's how you have it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And she kind of came across as kind of millennial-ish and Valley Girl-ish, and it took me a few weeks to knock that off. And like, no, you got some miles on you, lady. I don't want to hear that.
I didn't know you could do that. I thought you had to pick from a few voices that.
No, man, you can tell it to speak with an ancient Gaelic accent. They'll do it. Not a bad idea.
Okay.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do 80s hair metal frontman. Are you ready to research?
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I think I'll play with it a little bit this week. So what, any other car myths that your parents tried to swing? Oh, sitting in the front seat. Did they ever tell you, like, was there ever a time where you couldn't do that for some kind of safety nonsense?
No, I never had any of that. I remember the first car that we had didn't have seatbelts. That was I think it was a early 1970s Ford LTD.
Lord, Flintstone, what?
Yeah,
really?
Even the front seats didn't have seatbelts. Yeah.
I mean, all of us Gen X kids remember sitting on the hump with no seatbelt on, like leaning over the bench seat, talking to your parents.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that happened.
I can smell that vinyl too. I can smell it right now.
I remember being on vacation, seeing a kid, like a toddler, asleep behind the headrests in the back window, like with no seatbelt at all.
And setting a new memory radio station on the radio by pulling the button out and pushing it all the way back in again.
Oh yeah, those are great days.
Oh man, good times. Yeah, we
All
are.
right. So any myths at the house? Did you ever get the "you'll ruin your eyes by sitting too close to the TV"?
Yeah, definitely got that one.
Nonsense.
Myths at the house.
So I put this out to the listeners. I got a lot of notes this week about myths that they heard. One said that if a kid touched the thermostat, it would break it. It had to be an adult to touch the thermostat. Which
I get that one. As an adult, I totally. Yeah, no, I get.
I get most of these as an adult. Quit being a little jackass, so Santa's not coming. You can't touch the thermostat, or you'll get leprosy. Like I get all those. One of my favorites. Somebody mentioned this too. I was at a doctor as a kid, an ortho doctor, some kind of injury, football injury, junior high, and my sister and my mom are in the room with me for some reason. And my sister pops her knuckles. She used to pop her knuckles all the time. She could pop her neck, and it sounds like a 2x4 break. It's crazy.
Oh my, yeah.
And the doctor and my mom said, "Stop that! You're going to get arthritis. That's bad for your knuckles." And she turned to my ortho and said, "Is that true?" And I don't know what came over him. He kind of gave this shrug and says, "No, that's absolutely not true." And my mom was like, "Hey, we've got an adult code here. It's like the parents' bro code," and he just completely
ruined everything.
broke it. Yeah, and so my mom didn't even try it anymore. We were just free to pop whatever we could in the house because mom was like, an orthopedic surgeon told her, "Stand down, woman." And so that was probably one of the greatest dunks I've ever seen in an adult when I'm a kid.
Well, I remember a big one as a kid was the whole swimming, wait 20 minutes after you eat before you go swimming thing.
Such nonsense. Yeah.
That one's not true either.
What about swallowing gum?
Yes, it'll like grow. You'll start growing a tree in your stomach or something.
No, that's a watermelon seed.
Watermelon seed, yeah.
Yeah.
No, gum just would never, it would be there forever, right, if you swallowed it.
Yeah. So at one point, you could be 40% chewing gum if you just keep swallowing it.
Yep. And I'll be honest, I believed it, and that was terrifying.
Yeah, I did too. I swallowed one time. I was playing Sandlot baseball, and I swallowed some gum one time, and I thought, well, this is how it starts. I'm done. Were you ever told that if you drop a penny off a skyscraper, you'll split somebody in half?
Yeah, didn't Mythbusters do something about that? I think they did.
Probably. It's silly.
Yeah, like it'll go right through the guy's head and out the bottom of his foot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it turns out weight and mass and what makes a glider go?
Lift.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You'd be better off throwing a shot put out a skyscraper, but that's harder to like retrieve out of your pocket.
Yeah, and you also got to sneak it on the elevator. It's a pain in the butt.
You ever heard the rumor of peeing in a pool will change the water around you?
Now that is true. There are some pools where they do put a chemical in it that does react and show that.
Really?
Like some municipal pools have done that for real.
I like that a lot.
I'm all for that. And the thing is too, that would either encourage me to not do it, or in certain circumstances, it would encourage me to do it.
Right.
Depending on who I'm there to impress.
Yeah, and depending on what color it is, I want to see it.
Right. If I've got a potential girlfriend with me, in high school, I'm not going to pee in the pool. But if I've got Steve and Dan and Ron,
Steve and Dan and Ron are no good.
Hey guys, watch this. That would be great. Right. Although I've never seen it, I've only heard about it, but I believe that is a true thing.
Yeah, see I don't know. I've never heard of that actually happening. So among the list of listeners who submitted leaving the fridge open, a lot of them said their dad would say if you do it over like a minute, it'll hurt the fridge. You got to reset something, so they would just like shut it real fast. That's goofy.
Yep.
recording songs off the radio was illegal. Everybody did that, so I don't know.
I mean,
but that was a legend.
I guess it's possible that at a very, very granular level from a copyright standpoint, I don't know.
I suppose.
I don't know.
Actually, here's one. Somebody said that their parents told them that prank calls were illegal. I think they might be or might have been, like when people did it.
They may have been, but back in the day, you could get away with it because there's absolutely no way to figure out who you were.
Yeah, no caller ID.
You know what I used to do when you remember? I remember we got new functions on our phone, and it was called Total Phone, and that was when we got three-way calling and call waiting. All those features would suddenly were there, and I would call up my buddy, and we would just chat on the phone. We'd dig through the phone book to find same last name, same street in the phone book.
Yeah.
Okay. So they obviously knew each other. So we would three-way call. We'd call one number, and then the second they answered, we'd go and we'd dial the other number, and then conference them together, and then just listen to them try to figure it out.
Dude, I used to do that with Chinese food restaurants. What do you order? No. What you order? It's like, okay. Yeah. I would do the accent better, but that gets kind of touchy. But those were some good times. In college, my roommate, Ernie Ace Morgan, was running through the Miami, Oklahoma phone book, and he ran across Barney Miller, and he laughed for 5 minutes. And then we called Barney, but he didn't answer. I had a phone in the room. We called Barney, but there was no answer. I would have liked to have heard that conversation, but my boy Morgan thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Yeah, it's not bad. Do some of that.
Oh man, I could hear that. Yep.
Yeah, me too. All right,
fish.
That's all I've got, man. That's all the ones that people. Oh well, we had a couple of degenerates talking about how they never actually went blind.
I did.
I knew you needed glasses. I didn't know you went blind.
No, I didn't. I sure tried.
We got, honestly, I had 7 or 8 comments to that thought they were going to jump in and make that. One of them on the Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, that's where we are. Look, man, Leonard Nimoy never warned us about dome lights, so that was always kind of suspect. But you're right; you don't want to risk prison time for your dad.
No, you like your dad enough at the time to not send him to prison.
Well, yeah, if you're a young enough teen, good call, Mark. Dude, yeah. we are live again. These are brand new episodes. We had a hiatus that was, I don't think it was well earned. I think I should have had my butt on the microphone, but I took it anyway, and I appreciate all the listeners we had during the break. We replayed some popular episodes from the past, and gosh, that Sesame Street episode you did with me killed. It got emailed all over creation. That was a fun one to do.
I think that was, of all the ones I've sat in on with you, I think that's my personal favorite one.
Yeah, it was fun. We got some coming up today. Actually, the day we're recording this is the 40th anniversary of the space shuttle explosion, and that is the subject of next week's episode with an old buddy from junior high. He was roaming the halls of Highland East the same time I did on the same day that we saw bits of spaceship trickle back to Earth. So we're going to discuss that next week. And in the coming weeks, we've got several coming up, a couple of surprise guests, and it is going to be a good season. I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
Look forward to you being part of a lot of these. Mark, always appreciate your time, man. Thanks for sitting in.
Thank you, Scott. Did you ever swallow a penny?
Don't think so, but knowing me, probably. Probably like double fisting chicken nuggets. I probably have swallowed paper clips and who knows what. So
yeah, I did once, and I was tasked with retrieving it.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So to teach me my lesson, I had to dig I had to dig and try to dig it out. You know.
Okay. And that again, that was Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
Mark,
Dad.
Here's the
Yeah,
deal.
I had to dig through my poop looking for a penny.
Yeah, we all got what you meant. Yeah, there was at no point was anybody like, I wonder what he means by that.
Well, what the hell is he talking about?